What's up, guys? Fat Samurai Guy here with Lady Fat Blood. Special guest today on another episode of The Movie Dojo, where we discuss martial arts cinema and action films. Today, we are going to talk about the Raid films. That's right, Raid or Raid Redemption, as it was released here in America, and Raid 2. Before we give you the good and the bad and the badass, we're going to talk a little bit about Gareth Evans. Okay, Gareth Evans was a freelance director, and he wanted to do a documentary on the martial arts style of Silat that was created in Indonesia. So he flew all the way over to Indonesia, went to the martial arts dojos over there, and discovered a little diamond in the rough. One of the martial arts instructors there, his name is Iko Uwais, who was in the dojo just kicking ass and taking names. And Gareth was very impressed by this gentleman. And he saw the charisma. He saw a potential star there. And he got with Iko, and they sat down and talked it out. And keep in mind, Iko is a telephone company delivery man. That was his job. That's all he did, besides teaching martial arts. And they got together and scraped together a small, teeny tiny budget, created a martial arts movie called Merantau, which became a little cult hit. I remember watching Merantau, and it was kind of like a smaller, low-budgeted, smaller scale en bak. But the fighting didn't really, catch my eye and pick up till the very end when they got to the trailer yard fight sequence. The finale fight sequence was actually pretty good, and I was like, But I've never seen this type of fighting style before. So after the cult hit success of Merantau, they saved up enough money. Keep in mind, this first movie, The Raid, the action phenomenon that changed the industry, $1.1 million. That's it. That's all it cost to make that awesome movie. And around this time, martial arts cinema was kind of fading a little bit. Donnie Yen is he's like one of my favorites of all time. But like I was saying, his movies, in another review, his movies were kind of a hit and miss. Tony Jaa made On Bak and The Protector, which were amazing, and then On Bak 2 was terrible and had one good fight at the end, and On Bak 3 was even worse, and then he kind of lost his mind. He literally kind of went crazy and went into hiding. From what I've heard, it's a little strange. It's a kind of strange story with Tony Jaa. Luckily, Tony Jaa is back. I'm so glad to see him back in cinema, like Furious 7 and all these other martial arts films. But for a while, things were stale, because Tony Jaa came along and brought it up to here, and then all of a sudden he just failed, and then all of a sudden this movie came out of nowhere. Literally, The Raid came out of nowhere from Indonesia and just blew everybody's mind. A buddy of mine sent me the trailer, and I was just like, man, this looks crazy. What is this? Some Die Hard in the building? Like, what's going on? And luckily, yay, luckily, we didn't have to drive, 5 billion miles. The theater right up the street was playing it when it was released here in selected theaters.
Very tiny theater, but completely worth it.
Yeah, it was crazy, though, that we had the opportunity to see it and experience it in theater. And it was awesome. It was awesome. So here is a quick plot synopsis of The Raid. A SWAT team becomes trapped in a tenement run by a ruthless mobster and his army of killers and thugs. Will they survive? Can they escape? And can they complete their mission? First up, the good.
It really is that simple. The plot, it's so streamlined, it's so self-contained. Anyone can follow it. Maybe to its own detriment. Maybe some people find it was too simple, it was too cliched. A lot of people got pissed off when Dread came out later that year in the States. The Raid came out early 2012 in the United States, and then Dread came out in November 2012. Everybody thought Dread ripped off from The Raid, but it was just one of those unfortunate coincidences that two movies had a similar plot, a similar structure. So it was really nobody's fault. But everything about this movie just works. The acting is fantastic. You would never know Iko had only been in one movie prior to this. The direction is solid. The fight sequences are well shot. Yes, there is shaky cam, and some people might be put off by it, and it does get to be a little much after a while, but it's a stylistic choice. Shaky cam is usually used by directors who either have no ability to shoot a fight scene, they don't know what to shoot during a fight sequence, they don't have the choreography, or they don't have a faith in their choreography to shoot a good-looking fight scene. That's not the case here. This is Evans deliberately creating chaos through his technique. Other than that, the way his camera angles, the shot setups, everything is completely just, it's beautiful.
Yes, and there's no bad shaky cam during the fight sequences. When there's one-on-one fighting, you could see all the technique. You could see everything.
No.
He only uses shaky cam here and there to create tension, but you can see when it's time for the one-on-one throwing down.
No chopped up editing.
Yes.
No one hit edit.
One hit cut, punch, cut, kick, cut. None of that. You see everything. And now for the bad. Bad? Can't really think of anything bad. If we have to get picky, maybe some film snobs out there will be, well, there wasn't much character development, and we needed to know the characters a little bit more. Yes, that's if we have to get picky. But in this type of movie, it's like boom, boom, boom. No. As soon as the SWAT team arrives to the building and they break in, and the shit hits the fan, there's really no time for character development.
And it doesn't take long.
No, boom, as soon as you get there.
Yeah, you have a quiet minute at the very beginning of the film, and they use the contrivance of the family man.
Cliche.
Which, in this particular case, though, it does exactly what it needs to do. It lets you know this is a young guy, he's a family man. It's not even bad. Really, there is nothing inherently bad about this movie. So screw it. There's no bad in this movie.
There's no bad.
And now for the badass.
Holy shit! The fight choreography, the stunt work these guys did. All $1.1 million movie. That's it. That's nothing. That is nothing to make a movie. Just remember that when you're watching it. The fight in the hallway sequence. Okay, the fight in the apartment complexes, the rooms, the violence, the suspense. I mean, these guys were in trouble. These SWAT team dudes were badass. When they entered this building, they're in trouble. It just, the action is really the gold in this film. The action is really the main awesome highlight. And that just changed the martial arts industry. Changed the martial arts film industry.
And guess what, folks? This is a hard R. Okay, there's do not watch this movie dubbed. For the love of God. For the love of God, listen to me. I know it's hard. Okay? I know it's hard. Look into my eyes. Please believe me. I am begging you.
Subtitle. You don't have to read during the fight scenes.
Martial arts dubbing has not improved since the days of the Bruce Lee dubbing.
So you want to see how good you are? Then you must be tired of living, bastard.
Bitch! Nothing ruins the movie's credibility more than this atrocious dubbing, okay? Atrocious. Every single performance in this movie is fantastic. Everyone's acting is spot on. Everyone's conveyance of what they are trying to put out there onto the screen for you, it works on every single level. You would never know these people have barely had any acting experience, well, mostly Eco, but the dubbing will ruin the entire experience for you. It will make you look like it'll make it look like nobody can act, nobody can put out you will not be able to take this movie seriously, is what I'm saying, okay? Having said that, this movie just works, okay? The lead, he's a likable guy, he's a vastly talented guy, he is our hero, he is our conduit into this world, into this horrific apartment complex that we are claustrophobically stuck with him. But guess what? Somebody steals the flipping show.
Holy shit.
I am so sorry if I butchered this man's name, but Ya-Yan Ruyin plays the character of Mad Dog. One of the most vicious, teeny tiny packaged little guys that you will ever see. This guy is 5'2", and he will destroy you.
Yes.
There is an amazing 2-on-1 fight sequence towards the end of the movie. And a lot of people who don't understand the martial arts genre, they have a problem with the 2-on-1, but guess what? You need it sometimes,
Yes.
okay? This is one of those characters where it's justifiable one.
He's too much of a badass.
He was destroying the both of them as they were teaming up on him, okay? This wasn't one of those, that's not fair. Yes, it was.
Nobody complains when the X-Men have to team up to fight fucking Magneto, okay? This guy's a badass, it's okay.
This is not a family movie. This is not a family-friendly, faint of heart. This is a brutal, bloody... It's not just the hits and the fights that are hard. There is a lot of gun action in this movie. People get destroyed by lots of different things. So send the kids to bed. If you got squeamish wives or something, get them out of the room. Don't let them ruin this for you. I'm sorry, ladies. Some of you, you don't.
Yes.
Go watch 50 Shades.
Go watch Pitch Perfect.
Exactly.
So in the end, this film saved the martial arts genre. Completely came out of nowhere, knocked us all out in the theater. I mean, by the time we were done with that end fight sequence, we were like tired. We were tired. We were just in there like, whew. Just an awesome movie overall. So we give The Raid 4.9 out of 5 ninja stars. Now it's time for The Raid 2, man. Woo! Raid 2, baby! Yeah! Now there will be some spoilers in this sumbitch. Okay? Pause the video, go back, watch that awesome movie, come back to the video. Here's a quick plot synopsis. Only a short time after the first raid, Rama, played by Iko Uwais, goes undercover with the thugs of Jakarta and plans to bring down the syndicate and uncover the corruption within his police force. First up, the good.
We have the antithesis of The Raid in this film, in that we had a very claustrophobic, streamlined film that was so simple that if you chose to turn the subtitles off and just watched the first Raid movie, you could follow it almost with no problem whatsoever.
I agree.
You could basically, you understood what was going on. There'd be some little flecks here and there, you'd be like, well, okay, wouldn't matter. This movie is so ambitious, and it went above and beyond The Raid to the point where I have so much respect for this film. I recently just watched it all the way through for a second full viewing, and I have to be the bearer of bad news. You are not going to get everything there is that this movie has to offer to you through just one viewing. And it is very unfortunate because a lot of people these days, they don't have the patience for a movie like this. This movie takes a 10-episode miniseries and crams it into 2.5 hours. Some people might not think this was a good idea. It was too much story, too many characters. And on the first viewing, yeah, you might be a little lost in some places here and there, but when you keep watching it over and over, you start to pick up so many more things. This movie is gorgeous. This movie is, it's the standard that you want all films to go by, where you have a really good baseline with the first film. And then the second film just goes, it goes up, over, around, everywhere. It takes a premise so simple and just expands so beautifully on it. I love this movie. The acting, everyone came. You had your standard one-dimensional villains, and then you had your fully fleshed out villains. The one-dimensional villains were exactly what they needed to be. Mm-hmm. You had the fleshed out villains that you had two of them in particular. You had Bengang, who was the leader of the Indonesian mafia, and his son Uko. One man is a very experienced, and yes, he is a kingpin of this organized crime, but he's a good man. He's a villain, but he's a good man. And you have his son. Oh, his son. The first time I saw him, I thought, oh, this guy's gonna get on my nerves. Watching it a second time, holy shit, this guy's his performance, his character, his story arc, it's just this movie begs multiple viewings, and it breaks my heart that so many people will not give this movie the time it deserves and the attention it deserves. I know it has its place, and I know it has its audience, but it's so much more than what it appears to be on the surface. The movie is just, it's just great. It's just great. Everything that you could say is good about it turns into something badass. That's what you want out of a sequel. We, mentioning the layers of this film, and there were so many, there was just so much going on, and there were performances that, again, initially when I first saw it, I really didn't know what to think about it, but I was really appreciating the Uko character towards the end of the film. That's the Indonesian boss's son. That's Bengong's son. Basically, you find out Dojo's gang, which is this, you don't really know if he's Indonesian or whatnot. You're not really positive, but there's a clear-cut Indonesian, there's a clear-cut Japanese. He speaks the language, but who knows what they are, okay? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. He basically is pulling Uko's strings. Now, Uko is a very young upstart. He doesn't understand why his dad is constantly holding back. He considers him an embarrassment, and his dad is trying to guide him and trying to say, look, you don't know anything, okay? You don't know what's going on. You need to have patience. You need to do things my way, and you can, this empire that we have will go on for another 30 or whatever years. And the kid doesn't want to listen, and so he's basically being manipulated by this Dojo character. And eventually, it all culminates in Uko killing his father. Now, I have to expect in American cinema, a lot of cinema, to be honest, Uko would have been this one-dimensional villain, and when he killed his dad, you would have had this moment of, you should have listened to me, old man. I'm evil. And there was this scene where, as soon as he pulls that trigger and he sees his dad on the ground, you see it in his face. He has made the biggest mistake he could have possibly made in his life. It's all over his face. And for a second, I forgot what happened at the end of the movie, and I was thinking, he goes one-dimensional on me, right? He doesn't care later on, right? He's like this nearly for the rest of the scenes you see him in. He clearly regrets what he has done, and he knows what he's done is wrong. And then by the end, when he's starting to piece everything together, that Dojo was pulling his strings and lying to him and just manipulating him this whole time, and he erroneously puts some things together. There's this plot device where Rama places a bug inside Uko's wallet, and Uko finally finds the wallet after a while, and he thinks that Dojo's been doing this the whole time. And you see him piecing it together, and yeah, it's a little bit wrong, but at this point, it doesn't matter that he never finds out that Rama was the one that was undercover trying to expose the bad cops within this organization. And that's the whole reason this movie is here. He's been sent in to infiltrate these gangs, not necessarily to bring down the gangs, but all of these cops are in their pockets, and they're on their payroll, and there's all this corruption within the force. And so he's sent in to get the evidence to get rid of all these bad cops. And by the end, the corrupt cop is dead, Dojo's been shot, and it's basically down to Rama and Uko, who just comes in and he just guts him, just stabs him right in the gut. And you see this expression on his face like, this is right. I deserve this. It was fucking awesome! It was the best villain I could have ever hoped for in a movie like this. Oh god, this movie is tragic. It's just so... Go fucking watch this movie. If you haven't, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you?
Even if you like gangster films, go watch this movie.
Don't watch it dubbed! I'm not gonna say this again.
Bastard! Don't you dare! We're from the same school of martial arts. Now for the bad. I can't really think of anything bad in this movie, really. Like terrible. Nothing really bad. But going back on what you said earlier, for the good section, it could be looked at as if the film is a little bloated, maybe a little bit too long, which we didn't have any problem or any issues with that.
There is one character named Fragosa, and he is the loyal assassin, the most deadly assassin that Bengong's gang has, played by Yayan Ruhian, who played Mad Dog in The Raid. watching it again, I teeter back and forth on whether or not this scene and this whole setup was really needed. And I have come to the conclusion that where I do feel you could have trimmed that whole sequence out and things could have kept going as they were, I still defend the reasons for keeping it in the film. It added just one more layer of depth to it. Again, this movie was like a series. It was just like, there was just so much packed into this movie, and a lot of people might think that it doesn't work because of everything that happens. So much happens in this movie. So some people might think, no, it's too bloated, there's too much in it. And I can't argue against people's opinion on that, because not everybody wants to sit in a 2.5-hour action movie and be given this rich, thickly layered story. I completely understand if you want to go in and watch The Expendables over this. I understand that. But I've had my fill of movies like The Expendables, and there's nothing wrong with those movies. They're fun. Turn your brain off. Go watch a movie and go eat some popcorn. There's nothing wrong with that. But to get a movie that is so masterfully told through the visuals, through the story, through the fights all had a reason. We were not fighting simply for the sake of having another fight sequence, although some people might argue that, oh, it was just a bunch of fighting. I disagree. For my taste, this movie was nearly flawless in its execution, and perhaps you could have cut the one scene out, but I feel it was better off with it in.
Yeah, so really, again, really nothing bad. And now for the badass. I did not think it was possible to top the fight sequences from the first Raid, okay? But it happened. It happened, okay? Come on, people! There is a fight scene inside a bathroom stall, okay? That was amazing. If you came to me and was like, you know, we got some ideas here. We want an opening fight scene with Eco versus 30 dudes in a tiny little bathroom stall. What do you think of that? I would have been like, that's the most retarded thing I've ever heard in my life. What? What kind of opening is that? Freaking great. Better than the entire movie of the Hitman, Agent 47 bullshit that just came out.
Don't ever mention Hitman in the Raid's presence!
Badass. Just explodes through this entire film. Okay, we have the two mini-bosses of the film in Hammer Girl and Baseball Boy, who, two characters that don't really speak a lot, but when they throw down, it's like, oh, okay, shit, don't mess with these dudes. Don't mess with her. I mean, the fight scene on the subway with Hammer Girl was like, wow, that was really good. That was well done. And Baseball Boys is out of his mind.
So a very unexpected instance was the camera work being completely crazy once again and topping any bizarre things he might have done in the first film. We have this really great car chase sequence where you basically have this fight going on in this small car. You've got 3 guys in the back, you've got a driver up in the front, you might even have another guy in the passenger seat, I'm not positive, I don't remember that. But there's this fight going on between Rama and the 2 bad guys on the sides. So you've got this crazy fight going on the inside. You've got another guy giving chase to that car, and then you've got a guy giving chase to them.
Shooting guns.
Shooting guns, of course. The camera goes from being inside the vehicle with the primary fight going on, exits out of the vehicle this is all in one take. Exits out of the vehicle, pans and moves over to the next vehicle, goes inside. There's a shotgun blast at the back of the vehicle. Back mirror gets blown out. The camera then proceeds to go inside that vehicle, out the back window, and then focuses on the next vehicle.
How?
It was gorgeous.
How did they do that shot? And then one of my favorites, the hallway fight, the mini boss fight before they get to the final boss, with Hammer Girl and Baseball Boy versus Eco in the hallway was freaking brutal, man. Oh man, this movie's even more violent. I mean, than the first film, if that's even possible.
Yeah.
Also, the prison fight, I forgot to mention earlier, the prison fight's nuts.
In the mud. So, we have a new Mad Dog type of character in this movie, where Mad Dog was clearly the one-dimensional secondary villain in the first movie. He was crazy. He was a mad dog. He was the pit bull of the head boss of the film. We have another assassin from another gang. We have 3 gangs we're focusing in on this movie. Primarily, we have the Japanese gang that has an uneasy truce with the Indonesian gang, but we have this 3rd gang that's coming in that's trying to basically turn them in on each other, break the truce, and then come in and just clean up, and then they'll own everything. And their assassin, their head assassin, has taken out Bang Gung's assassin, and this is the new Mad Dog, and we have a fight between him and Rama in a very pristine kitchen where it's very, very bright, and you have these 2 dirty, grimy guys dressed in black basically squaring off nearly samurai style. And shut up if you don't understand the samurai stare down, okay? I don't want to hear it from you. If you don't understand why it takes 2 people a minute to square up and why it takes people a while to get their fitting and to get their grooving and fighting, this isn't your kind of movie. I don't want to hear it from you. But anyway, so you get them squaring off, and you get a really elaborate, really gorgeously filmed fight with great choreography, of course.
One of the greatest fight sequences I've ever seen in my life, okay? We also saw this in the theater. This did come to our theater. We were like lucky again.
Lucky, yeah.
The audience that was there was just like, oh. It was like when that fight was over, again, it was like, whew, right? But before the amazingness happened, you know, like you said, the whole samurai stare down thing, there was that tenseness when they were coming up on each other. And after a few blows here and there, it was amazing because the villain noticed that Iko, or playing the Rama character, kind of blocked his strike, and he kind of got happy about that. Usually bad guys are just like, oh, I'm just gonna kill you and that's it. But he actually got happy. He looked at him up and down like he was like then he had this big grin. He was like, all right, I finally got somebody to play with. It was awesome. So how much did this awesome movie cost?
$4.5 million.
4.5 million, that was it to make this awesome movie. How much did Fantastic Four cost? $120 fucking million. So in the end, surpasses the first film, one of the best sequels ever. We are going to give The Raid 2 5 out of 5 ninja stars. Alright, so here's some upcoming news that we have for you. There is going to be a Raid 3 coming. Thank God. So I can't wait for that. No release date as of now. And Iko is, I believe, starring in a buddy cop action movie. He's actually co-starring in an American film here. So he's kind of moving up here. Who is he starring with?
Oh, let's see. It's a movie called Mile 22, slated for next year. Starring Mark Wahlberg. I ain't gonna stop you this time.
Oh, God. Anyway. Hey, Iko, get over here. Christian Bale showed me how to box. Would you show me that salat? Show me salat, Iko. Come on.
Show me salat.
And there is an American remake of The Raid in the works. So let us know what you thought of both of these films. If you were blown away, if you were just like, I don't know what the big deal was.
It was boring.
Can I go watch Transformers: The Age of Extinction instead? Let us know in the comments below. So as a quick reminder to all you guys out there that this is the last episode of the Movie Dojo temporarily, because we're going to start our horror movie reviews. Halloween's our favorite holiday, so we're going to be doing a horror movie review every week in its stead. But once we're done with that, after October's done, Movie Dojo is going to come right back. So if you enjoyed this video, hit that like, share, and subscribe button, and we'll see you next time. That was it's time for the Raid 2, man. Woo! Raid 2, baby! Yeah! There will be some... Sorry. Oh, I scared you. Okay, there we go. There will be some spoilers in this sumbitch. Okay, so pause this.